What if I wipe my ass on your towel?
Don't do that! Please!
Please! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Yeah?
Someone sent me the Ant Cat. This guy is fucking funny as shit. Oh, I didn't even see you guys there. Hey, welcome.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Welcome back to the BadTakeDelete show. I'm your host, JJ, and over there's the other host.
Yeah, it's me, Ryan, the classical Ryan. But if you're old here, like you're very old, you might notice something on JJ's face. What is that?
That's right. I contracted herpes, and to hide that fact, I grew a bigger beard.
Well, I didn't know that other part, but I'm glad you were glad you were able to grow a beard. It looks
Yeah,
great.
we're gonna have to have a conversation about that later. But anyways, guys, welcome back to the show. If you guys saw that community post, which you should be checking every now and then, because we give you a bit of a heads up on what the conversation's about.
Yeah, no secrets here, baby.
We're talking about Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Yeah, not the porn parody. He takes it off. This is the brand new Netflix series. Well, it's not a series; it's a mini-series. Okay, we don't want to say it's just more than one season
For now, because
No.
No.
Brian Lee O'Malley said we have no plans for a season 2, which either implies
Oh.
if there is going to be more, it's going to be entirely different miniseries, or he's done for now. I mean, we'll get into it.
Bummer.
So what is Scott Pilgrim about? The original book series.
So Scott, I don't know about you guys. Scott Pilgrim was a big thing for when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I got into the movie. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen the movie before the comics.
Yeah, comics,
By
graphic novels.
graphic novels.
They can't be
sorry.
mangas because it wasn't made in Japan, and they can't be comics because they're too small to be comics, but too thick to be
Oh,
comics.
of course.
You know what I mean?
No, graphic novel.
It sounds fancier that way. Graphic
God
novel.
forbid. There's a lot of Scott Pilgrim. There's the graphic novel
Yeah.
by Sean O'Malley. Then after that came the
Movie in 2010.
the movie. The movie comes out by Edgar Wright
And then it was a video game,
with Michael. Yeah, and the video game adaptation.
which is actually offline for several years, and they brought it back, I think, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, everyone loved it.
Yeah, it was recent. They did like a complete edition thing that came out.
That was-
I have it on my Switch.
That was probably to gauge whether or not people wanted more Scott Pilgrim, because like we already have this finished product, we just need to like recode it for new systems. Oh, people like it. Hey, Brian Lee O'Malley, you gotta say his full name every single time. Do you want to write more of this? You want to write some more Scott?
Of course he does.
And he did. Now the trailers made it seem like, oh, they're gonna reanimate the entire series, and it's like, fucking got you, bitch. We got you.
The premise of the comic, the
Graphic novel, the graphic novel.
the premise of the graphic novel is that Scott is dating a high schooler, which is weird.
Yeah, first
And
sentence.
then he falls in just right off the bat. I mean, that's the first fucking sentence in the whole book.
Yeah, imagine
right? Just
recommending
Scott.
to someone and they immediately text you, he's dating a high schooler.
Don't worry, everyone in this book is terrible.
Yeah.
But the whole premise is that he falls in love with this girl named Ramona Flowers, and she's the prototype for every blue-haired, short-haired girl that you've ever met in the early mid-2000s.
Maybe. I mean,
Uh,
when the book first came out, it wasn't that popular. It was pretty popular, but not that popular.
Oh, dude, no, I knew people that were directly fucking... They inspired their entire personality around
Off
the
the
characters in this.
2002 book?
Yeah, no, well, like when the movie came out, and everyone
Yeah,
like,
that's different.
because no one saw the fucking book. Which, by the way, if you've only seen the movie and maybe this anime adaptation, please go read the books.
Go watch
the books. Are
read the
fantastic.
books,
It's
sniff the books.
yeah, inspect the books.
They're actually releasing
Respect
a
the books.
25th anniversary of it very soon, I think early next year.
Yeah,
But go read in full color. It's good.
sweet. That shit's awesome.
But anyway,
But
go on.
so he falls in love with Ramona Flowers, and he's like, I want to date you, and she's like, listen, Mitch, if you want to date me, you have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
And Scott says,
Dun, dun,
no
dun.
thank you. I don't want to do that.
So Scott Pilgrim must fight 7 evil exes to claim the love of his life. Will he complete the task? He does. We know that.
Yeah,
This
he
is,
fucking-
it's-
he
of
fucking
course he
does.
does. He does.
Why
He
wouldn't
does.
he?
It's, I mean, come on. So when you're watching the show and you're going in with the idea that this is a direct translation of the books, you're like, okay, cool. We're finally gonna get to see him fight the evil exes, but animated. And then he fights. You know what? You tell him what happens.
Okay, so he first starts off with Matthew Patel, you know, the first evil ex when Ramona and in high school. But then, oh no, he fucking takes off. He disappears.
What the hell?
And everyone thought
He gets-
Matthew Patel killed him.
Because he gets fucking pummeled in the face,
Yeah.
or so we think, and then he just explodes, and there's nothing left but coins
okay.
because it's like
In the graphic novel, it's explained that they don't really die; they just get transported back to their apartment or home or whatever.
it's different in this one though.
Yeah.
Because it seems more like if you just die, because like they have the whole when Scott dies in this, he doesn't get transported back home. They just give him a straight up
Oh
funeral.
no, because they couldn't find him back home. They had to
But they just immediately assume that he was dead. The guy
Yeah.
at the club tells Knives that he just died.
Yeah, maybe this is slightly different continuity. I thought it was like, I mean, we'll get into it. I thought it was like a sequel kind of thing, but it's an alternate retelling.
I don't think they gave a shit about it enough to think this through.
Mm-hmm.
They just wrote it and said, all right, you know, it is what it is. Coins.
So in this alternate telling, I think it actually does a better job of well rounding out the characters.
Yeah.
Because it makes the evil X's like actual people with feelings, and Ramona, not just the love interest, but the main character looking for Scott.
Pretty much, because essentially what happens is with Scott gone, and they realize that Ramona is not going to go back with them if they defeat him or whatever,
Yeah.
they realize that it's kind of stupid, and they just all decide to pursue their own interests. And because of that, with that vacuum there, we actually get to look at the characters and see like what they would do normally.
Yeah.
You know, what are they like naturally? Are they really evil X's, or are they just kind of douchebags?
Did all of them really think that they would get Ramona's heart? Really, like she would date all of them or something? Like, what was the?
I mean,
what's
she
the game
dated
plan?
twins. I mean, it's not really outside the
She
ballpark,
dated
I don't
twins,
think.
but at the same time without them knowing. That's different.
Which goes into a big theme in this, which I really enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
is that people go into... Whenever you talk about Scott Pilgrim, you're always going to get someone that's like,
Oh, but you should know that Scott's actually a bad guy. And you shouldn't be like, you shouldn't like Scott Pilgrim, who's a bad guy. He's dating a high schooler.
which the voice is not to say that that's not a bad stance to have. Obviously, he's not a bad guy. He's not a good
I
guy
haven't
for
really
doing that.
seen anyone unironically say, "Yeah, I love Scott Pilgrim. He's a great character." It's like, no, he has the most flaws. The most.
Yeah. But like I think a lot of people that don't read the books or whatever perceive that as if like it's excused,
Mm-hmm.
or if that's not like a major point in the story is that he has to overcome that.
Yeah, they all make fun of
that
him.
he's a bad guy.
Even in the movie, Kim is like, "You're dating a high schooler. That's weird."
Yeah, he just has to come to grips with it, right?
Yeah.
And so Scott's obviously a bad guy, but what the show does in this is it puts the mirror back on Ramona as if to say, like, it was never just one-sided.
Yeah.
There were issues on both sides of the fence, and we get to see that highlighted in what caused these evil X's to be evil.
Yeah, because no one just becomes evil in this world with like no reason. It's like, well,
Except Gideon.
except Gideon. Yeah,
That guy's fucking evil.
he's just in character. It's in this alternate retelling. We do fucking spoilers, by the way. I mean, this thing's been out for 2 weeks, and if you're watching a video talking about it, maybe you've seen it already, but just in case, spoilers. Anyway, he's captured by Will Forte, older version of Scott, which is a very funny choice. And he's like, "Yeah, Ramona divorced us. She's gone."
Dun dun dun. He's supposed to be the Scott Pilgrim that you follow in the games and the movies and the comic. The
Graphic novel,
Graphic
sorry.
But he's supposed to be that one. It essentially is just saying like there was never a good ending.
Yeah.
Because while Scott kind of, figured out his own issues, Ramona didn't really.
Yeah.
Because the big problem that Ramona has that's highlighted throughout every X is that she just runs away from her problems.
Yeah.
Even if it's at the cost of people that she likes. She did it to every X that she had. She did it to Scott constantly for years. Like the fucking Forte's Scott Pilgrim, older Scott Pilgrim, they weren't even actually divorced.
Yeah, we find it out
They were
very
just-
later that Ramona said, "Well, we're separated," but Scott didn't know what that meant. He's like, "Separated? I thought that means divorced."
She like vanished for years at a time and with no contact at all.
But also Scott also didn't reach out to her.
Oh no,
See?
Scott, he's still an immature dumbass.
Yeah, because with the original Scott Pilgrim story, reading it cover to cover and everything, he learns stuff, but not a lot. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't go that far. I feel like, the entire character of like the Nega Scott, the black one, black
Go
evil
on.
Scott.
Recording.
Hold on. Put the subtitles
Yeah.
down. Nega, Nega. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Oh
So
shit.
who is this
Okay.
alternate? You can call him Dark Scott.
Okay, Evil Scott.
Scott.
Evil Scott.
Okay.
The whole point of his character is that he is all the bad things in him.
Yeah.
And throughout the books, and he fights Evil Scott because he doesn't want to embrace it. He thinks like, if I just fight the evil way, I'll be good. It's even in the video game, by the way, if you play as Scott, you defeat Evil Scott at the end, reverse Scott
Yeah.
or whatever, and you get this crazy ending where everyone is just like everyone happy, everyone falls in love with him.
Yay.
It's a bullshit ending. It's a fake ending. The only way to get the real ending is when you play as Ramona and Scott and Nega Scott kind of just become one.
Yeah.
When he embraces the fact that he has problems, that he's a bad guy, and accepts him. Like even in the movie when they show that, right? Like when fucking Scott and other Scott just decide to get coffee or whatever, he just accepts his faults, his issues, and that's how he can. It doesn't make him a good guy, but it sets him on the path.
Because even he's had issues with dating Knives and Ramona at the same time and not telling her, and also how he ended things with Kim, because while they still were in the band together, they weren't like good friends. Like she still needed that closure as well. But on the note of the alternate retelling, Brian Lee O'Malley was 20 years old, around 20s, when he made the first Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, he was young.
So it's like, hey, now in your 40s, Brian Lee O'Malley, do you want to retell the same story? He's like, I'm not that same person. I don't think I can really retell it. What if you do something new? Something cool.
Yeah, the whole thing felt more like he wanted to go back and show a more well-rounded, like you said, view of all the characters in the world, instead of it just being through the lenses of Scott needs to do XYZ.
Yeah.
It's who are these people that he's fighting? Was there another route? Are they redeemable? Was Scott the only one that really needed fixing? Stuff like that.
Yeah, because even some of the side characters, like the vegan ex, found out he was bisexual or gay when he was making out with Wallace. Oh, a very specific thing about Wallace. The vegan mentioned that he doesn't need to memorize anything. Thanks to his vegan powers, he has a photographic memory. So every time Wallace said run lines in your trailer, he didn't have to. That was part of the joke.
Yeah, he's a liar.
And even Wallace found love, the spark.
Yeah, at the end, Wallace is the best character in this. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Wallace stole the show immediately.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot of people on Twitter going like, that's our guy. That's a guy right there.
I will also say that Michael Cera does a really good job, all things considered. Everyone kind of nailed it, honestly. I feel like the movie was good, but it only allowed the characters to be as animated as needed.
Yeah.
Like Ramona was more deadpan during the movie. Scott was more like quiet and awkward. In this one, they're allowed to be more zany and loud and sarcastic or goofy.
If the Scott Pilgrim movie is released nowadays, it would have been like a nice live-action miniseries on, well, ironically enough, Netflix or whatever, and they'd have been able to explore a lot more of these aspects. There's a lot of shit in the book, like Scott's brother, and where he learned to actually play the bass and everything, and all these relationships. It's like, oh, the movie didn't have this shit. Why was the movie all of this? Why isn't it part 1, part 2?
There's an alternate ending of the movie where he ends up with knives.
What?
Yeah, you don't know this?
No, you should.
There's an this deleted scene, you can find it on YouTube. There's an edited, deleted scene, alternate ending, where instead of going with
Ramona,
at the end, he decides like, no, you know what, I'm gonna stick around here, and he stays with knives.
You didn't learn anything from that.
No,
didn't learn anything from that.
It literally just does not understand the source material. I don't know if it was like Edgar's idea or
maybe the studio thing where it's like, well, people like a good knives. Let's try this out.
I'm sure it was like an executive producer who's like, well, maybe they gotta redeem Scott and knives. Maybe we gotta fix that.
There's George Lucas in there. It's like, I really want to see knives.
I really think we could just add a CGI knives chow.
We could insert. She's not in the movie
14.
enough.
You know what? Let's make her 12.
It's like this.
And we
it's like
add a Gungan ship.
Is that George? Get George out of here. What is he doing on set?
Oh, jeez. Come on, guys.
He was in like a disguise or something.
He's just wearing like a fucking Marx Brothers glasses.
It's like, I thought that was J.J. Abrams. Get him out of here.
Oh, gee, come on, guys. I could have done Cloverfield.
But you know what we gotta do now?
What?
We gotta read some responses. Because we just wanted to spoil just enough to get you interested in watching it, and even just reading the source material, or else we'd be here for like fucking 5 hours.
Oh, God, yeah. I could talk about that show for hours. If you guys want to see a more in-depth discussion of this, maybe we can meld it with another topic next week.
Yeah.
So just comment below. Make sure you guys get a chance to watch it yourselves, and maybe we can all come back and talk about it.
Well, starting next week, it'll be like December. You know what? One movie I keep recommending to you that we gotta talk about?
Cannibal Holocaust?
8 Crazy Nights.
Oh, same category, sorry.
Same category.
Yeah.
Very, very cool film. But anyway, we gotta do some questions first on our YouTube page. Mr. Whitey. That's a technical foul.
That's a technical foul.
What if I wipe my ass on your towel?
Don't do that. Please.
Please. Oh my God.
Why would you even ask me that? Why would you fucking wipe your ass on my towel, Adam Sandler?
What if I come in the shower?
No, that's okay.
We do that all the time in the locker room.
Only once. Everybody gets one.
You can do it in front of me.
Oh, Jesus.
Now we gotta watch
It's
it.
just my Carl impression.
Oh, jeez.
All right, look, come on.
So,
what do people say? What do people fucking say?
The one who sucks. It was different, but a good different. We like how it handled the evil exes, especially Matthew and Roxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had her singing the fucking hamster dance song.
Well, actually, technically, that is Robin Hood's theme, but, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Ryan
glasses.
24. I loved it, but I think you have to either read the comics or watch the movies first. Enjoy it as much as you should.
That's true. Honestly, actually, you know what? That's a fair criticism to make because a lot of people were upset that it was they pulled the rug underneath you because you go in thinking it's a recreation. So I'm sure there are definitely a a sizable amount of people that went in thinking this is like their entryway into the series.
Boy, were they wrong.
And now, yeah, because if you watch this first, you're not going to understand it. But second, if you're going to go back and watch the movie or read the comics, you're just going to feel sad because you're like, oh, these are nice people that are just dying.
Turn to old Scott.
Oh,
It's like,
my
oh my
God.
god. He's gonna turn to Will Forte. No one should be able to do that.
Oh, in that case, actually, I wouldn't mind.
King Kid Cairo. That's 3Ks, man. That's 3Ks. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. I loved it. I liked it. Made people that weren't focused in on the movie or even the source material to actually shine and get development. Made them more likable. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like I like what they did with what's her name? Audrey Plaza's character.
Yeah.
Julia.
Yep.
Julie. Because she's like barely in it. She doesn't get much like exposure in the books or the movie.
Yeah.
So now that they're kind of rounding her out to be like an actual character, it's interesting instead of just plot device.
As well as Chris Evans' character, Lucas
Yeah,
Lee.
I get the feeling that Chris really enjoyed himself too. They gave him a lot of time in this show.
He got a lot of character development, that guy.
Oh yeah, he's like probably out of all the X's shows up the most.
And also one of the funniest.
Oh yeah.
Now we got some Discord questions.
The Discord.
If you want to
But
join the Discord,
where can they find that?
the description or the top comments, you can join it and leave some comments. You can even talk in there in general. It's nice.
Wow.
We got a few of them. Blancaroony. Scott Pilgrim is cockroach shit.
Wow.
Inso power fantasy porn, and I hate it. I've never had any interaction with the IP in my entire life, and I have no idea what it's about.
You typed out the second sentence and then like right before you hit enter, you didn't like think about it. You're like, wait a minute. This is dog shit. I've never read it. I hate it. What?
I even replied to someone, Scott Pilgrim has impacted my life negatively. As I read through it, and I could feel my testosterone levels dropping, my blood being replaced with soy sauce.
Is that real?
Did that happen? Because if you have soy sauce in you need to like check that out. You're like a medical marvel, actually.
That's probably horrifying. That's a saw trap.
I think it was by one of the Minecraft YouTubers. It's like this advertisement going like, I love Soylent. You know that one?
Yeah, and Venom.
Yeah, it was Venom. And the thing is, I've never done a sponsor with them, and I'm sure the thing tastes good, and I'm sure it gives you nice nutrition, but I'm not promoting a product called Soylent.
No, that's curious. That's suicide. I don't know how he didn't perceive that there would be some repercussions for that.
If you do Soylent advertisements, you have to... Because people are going to call you the soy boy and everything. Do it at a gym or something. Do some absurdly manly things while drinking it. Maybe not drink it in the cup. Like, pour it into a different cup and go hiking or something. Less...
Just play into it.
Yeah.
Like, be aware, be self-aware of the joke
yeah.
that comes with it and play into it. Because then it can work. Then it would work. That's the only way you can really do it and, like, maintain some kind of self-image.
After drinking the Soylent, I can use Reddit all day now.
That's what, yeah.
Bubban's more positive. Has Scott Pilgrim impacted your lives deeply as much as the people that say their lives have changed from it?
I'd say so. But only on a second reading.
Yeah? Why is that?
When you first read the book, I will admit that I understand the perception of Scott being just like oh, he doesn't get redeemed. He's an unredeemable prick. And he gets away with everything.
Yeah. And
gets the girl, everyone's happy, like yada yada.
Yeah.
Reading through it another time, you come away with it understanding that you have to kind of take on the your issues and your mistakes, and instead of just like burying it down or like telling yourself you're a better person, you have to embrace it if you want to actually get better.
Yeah.
And personally, that was a good lesson, I feel.
For me, it's a lot less introspective. I saw the movie and I was like, I want to play the bass, and so I learned how to play the bass.
That's cool shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could play the bass.
Not really. I play as
just
good
like
as Scott does.
Yeah.
So essentially,
by the way, they actually learned to play all those instruments for the movie.
Didn't Michael Cera learn it too well that he had to like play bad purposefully?
Yeah, he was getting too good with it, so they had to dumb it down.
So yeah, that inspired their lives. I've always wanted the Scott Pilgrim guitar, but if you look it up right now, I think it's like $1,100 because it's not like a Scott Pilgrim guitar. It's a very specific brand of guitar. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Nah.
So you ready for this one? This person wrote a whole thing, and I'm gonna have to read it. Escape. So I love Scott Pilgrim Takes On, but I'm honestly hoping for a season 2 where Scott gets to go through his journey proper, both new challenges we haven't seen yet, like he doesn't have to fight the League anymore. He should still make amends of Kim and Envy and deal with negative Scott. I'm going to specifically say negative Scott. Or the possibility of becoming even older Scott, who is definitely intentionally designed to have a similar color palette to evil Scott. Berlin becomes an evil X. Yeah. We haven't finished it yet, but yeah, he does become an evil X technically. It almost seems like Ramona's too mature for him now compared to the progress side by side in the comics. I'd also love to see Stephen Kim Knives experience their arcs. It kind of feels like Takes Off gives screen time to the undeveloped aspects of the original comic, like giving young Neil something to do. But there's some little things I have stray thoughts about too, like Gideon's de-aging from 31 years old to mid-20s like the rest of them. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to school with Julie, who I'm pretty sure is even younger than Scott at the start of the comic. I only find this weird because the age gap added to the power power dynamic with Scott and Ramona, but they kept Knives 17 and the code bumped her up to 18. They completely did away with the questionable early 2000s the whole situation, even though they did leave a funny scene in Volume 6. Also, POS. Lisa Miller, she was an important part of the story. I think that's all for now.
Okay.
You know what? Let's just talk about young Neil a lot. He was pivotal in this. He was like a MacGuffin.
I definitely agree, though, that I would love to see more development with the characters, because in the comics, it ends with Steven ends up being, what is it, gay? I think he gets a boyfriend at the very last chapter.
Well, I think he was always gay. It's just Scott didn't pay attention or something, or didn't really ask about him.
There's a lot to focus on, especially I would love to see during the comics, Kim and Scott have a whole chapter where they kind of reconcile and talk about things.
Yeah.
I think that's all very well and good. You have to also go in understanding, like, who's fucking... If you had to ask a broad audience, who would you want to see more development with? The bastards that throw magics, dragons, movies, celebrities, and fucking Amy Rose Hammer lesbians?
Yeah.
Or do you want to see what the guy that sometimes plays the bass does on his off days? I'm gonna go with fucking Captain America, you know?
If this was a longer series, like, you know how Invincible has like 48-minute episodes or whatever, maybe then I can see more to it, because 8 episodes was enough for this. It was nicely paced.
Yeah.
It told the story it wanted to tell. But again, they're asking a lot from Brian Lee O'Malley, who has other projects he wants to work on. So he wouldn't necessarily retell the story. It would have to be like another variation of it or something.
Yeah, and it would also kind of just be weird to go back and actually do the thing when this whole series is pointing out how this is like the more positive way of going about it.
Yeah.
You don't go back and be like, all right, fuck that, forget it. Here's the actual shit.
Didn't that happen with Attack on Titan? Like, I think the Attack on Titan manga was bad, and the creators said, actually, the anime is way better, go watch that instead.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they left the door open for a sequel.
Yeah.
Or a season 2. Or whatever they want to do with it. So, you know, it's open. There's a chance. Never say never.
Never Say Never. My favorite Justin Bieber album from 2008.
Oh my god.
Never Say Never. But never say this episode will continue. It's actually the end. The end of this episode. I had a good time.
The end.
We answered your questions. Yeah, is that it? Is there anything else to talk about? Any stories? Anything?
Don't date high schoolers, please.
Don't do that.
That's my stance.
Even if you're in high school.
That's the official stance.
Don't date high schoolers.
Just
don't date anybody for a while. Just wait.
Just fucking don't do anything ever.
Pursue your educational prowess. Go to college. Don't go to college.
Kill people.
Kill John Lennon.
Kill John Lennon. Kill John Lennon.
Oh, he's already dead.
Kill Paul McCartney. Kill Paul McCartney.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.